That's some fucked up shit. These are the top 10 gaming controversies of 2014. Alright, I gotta preface this video by saying I have to cram these 10 topics which could be discussed at length. You could do an hour or more probably on each topic into a very shortened video. So obviously, I'm not gonna have fucking sources, I'm not gonna have citations, you're just gonna have to trust my word. This is actually my opinion on these top 10 gaming controversies. You might have your own opinion, and I would love to hear it in the comments section, but here is what I think. Here's what I think about the most fucked up shit that happened in 2014 in gaming. Alright? Let's check it out. Number 10.
My name is not important. What is important is what I'm going to do. I just fucking hate this world and these human worms feasting on its carcass. My whole life is just cold, bitter hatred. And I always wanted to die violently. This is the time of vengeance, and no life is worth saving. And I will put in the grave as many as I can. It's time for me to kill. And it's time for me to die.
Hatred, the video game. Woo-hoo-hoo. Fucking scary. There's a Matrix-looking dude, you know, wanting to shoot innocent people. You know, this game literally has you engage and willingly commit genocide without any context that you might find in other games. Do you fight willing combatants? No. Do you kill bad guys to save others? No. Do you battle monsters masquerading as civilians? No. Instead, you play as a trench coat loving psycho who kills as many innocent people as he can before he dies himself. Okay, that's going to include unarmed men and women, just civilians, police trying to stop you, unsuspecting employees of grocery stores, and the list goes on and on. It's unknown whether or not you're going to be killing children playing in the street or dogs that happen to fucking pass by. Fuck that dog, right? But why not? Huh? Not edgy enough for you? Too close to real life events? Well, other than this game being a completely despicable, cowardly, and unworthy premise of a video game with no real redeeming value, what's not to like, you know? But no, seriously, let's not act like this is some new thing. This same controversy happened with the likes of Postal and Manhunt that have come far before and have had similar premises. Hatred is just the latest game with a developer who understands that if they make a game that actually took some fucking thought and time to be good, it's still possible that it'll barely get any press and people won't give a shit. So why not be desperate, try-hard, controversial dudes, just obnoxious, and make an obnoxious game so that Fox News and the mainstream media can pick up on it, bitch about it for hours, and sell the copies for your company? Well, after being announced, it kicked up so much of a storm like this that Steam eventually came down on its greenlight program and kicked it the hell off Steam, effectively censoring it from Steam's private network. And then, later, Gabe Newell himself apologized directly to the developers and reinstated the game, saying it was a bad idea to remove it from Steam. Now, does the game have a right to exist? Of course! It's free speech, I guess, so as long as it's not based on real events with real people, because that would be fucked up and that would go a little too far in my personal opinion. However, no one is forced to play it. It's going to be rated by the ESRB, and if mature adults want to buy it and play it, I don't give a shit. Have at it, hoss. I personally don't like the premise, but that doesn't mean it can't exist. Do I want to glorify this Columbine-style killer who goes out and, mass kills people? Hell no! But, if games are supposed to be held to the same standard as movies and things, you can't go and censor games like this. Parenting. That's what it's all about. If you don't want children playing this game, who may not know better, whose minds might become warped, don't let them fucking buy it. Period. That's all there is to it. Is it still a fucking stupid-ass idea? Yes. It's fucking cheap. Stupid.
Human scum. Surrounded by the possessions gathered their whole life. So weak. So fragile. They don't deserve a natural death. Unconsciously waiting to be obliterated by my hatred.
Number 9. Twitch being bought out by Google? At first, it appeared that the deal was all but done between Twitch and Google for a huge buyout worth over $1 billion, which could be a controversy in itself. Was this a good thing or a bad thing? It certainly seemed to make Twitch more aggressive in audio muting streams with barely any music in the background like they fucking do on YouTube. In my eyes, it seemed a little more bad than good, but I was willing to wait it out and see how it went, where it went. But in my opinion, if you were getting screwed on YouTube, you're more than likely gonna get screwed on Twitch, and that's nearing a monopoly of video services for Google. But in a surprising move, Amazon effectively swooped in and took it out from under Google when Twitch and Google couldn't come to terms for something like $970 million in cash. Crazy shit. Is it worth that much? I have no fucking idea. And while I've seen some of my streams get muted in the past, currently it doesn't seem anywhere near as bad as it could have been under Google's watch. So I just hope Twitch invests some of that newfound money into improving their services more than ever before. Fix that mobile app, add fucking board games so I can stream board games to my fans with a nice little fucking box art. Do more stuff, protect users against DDoSing, or at least have a guy there to help people against that kind of stuff. So we'll see whether that money goes to something good on Twitch. Number 8.
Today we're introducing a new Xbox One without Kinect for $399.
Yeah, there's a lot about Kinect that I really love, but we've also heard from people that they just like to play games with a controller in their hand and they play multiplayer through Xbox Live.
Microsoft abandoning Kinect after many years of shoving the Kinect down our throats. Let me fucking show you this. After many years of shoving these fucking pieces of shit, god damn it, down our throats, they're gonna basically just walk away from the Kinect platform. Okay, first they sold us this piece of fucking shit, this fucking piece of shit with the Xbox 360 that we all got conned into essentially beta testing for them so that they could make this piece of shit. And guess what? They pretty much said the Xbox One won't work without this piece of shit. But you know what? In May, they announced they were decoupling this piece of shit with the actual console to make it cheaper. And they did it to boost sales! Yeah! We don't need to sell this piece of shit anymore! Effectively killing the Kinect and whatever steam it had left in it, okay? To me, this is a good thing. This was a defective, barely functional, annoying piece of hardware that was difficult to use for anything other than dancing games, okay? It was a dancing peripheral, that's it. And as we've seen, the industry is more interested and now in the Oculus Rift or Sony's VR project. Hell, even Microsoft is once again throwing its hat into the ring yet again with the new AR hologram glasses project. Now, I've already been burned once, okay? And no, twice by Microsoft. And those amazing hologram glasses, I'm gonna take that shit with a grain of salt until I experience it for myself. Meaning I'm not gonna buy it until I demo it. With the Kinect removed from the Xbox One, I expect third-party developers to mostly ignore it as if it didn't even exist, like they did with the Xbox 360, which means its slow but agonizing death is all but confirmed. Thanks for wasting my fucking time and my fucking money, Microsoft. Fucking Kinect.
We'll continue to innovate on Kinect. I think it's an important differentiator for us. But I also know there are people out there that want to make the choice when they want to make it.
Number 7. The Mountain Dew Game Jam. Just imagine I have a big old can of Mountain Dew. Many of you may not have heard of the Mountain Dew Game Jam that was supposed to happen last year. But basically, it was this, like, gonna be the most high profile and expensive game jam ever done. What's a game jam? Well, basically a few talented indie dev teams will get together and hammer out a game in a limited amount of time for fun and for friendly competition. It's basically like a jam session between friendly musicians. Think of it like that. But rumor has it that the production budget for this thing was anywhere from $250,000 to $400,000. What resulted? A colossal disaster and an embarrassment for Maker and Polaris at the time of the Disney acquisition, and absolutely no game jam to show for it. It fell completely apart at the end of the first day of filming, with half of the indie devs just refusing to continue to participate. How do I know? I was there. I was set to be one of 3 judges for the games during the 4 days of filming. So teams of indie devs that would include one famous YouTuber, and I think in this case it was Markiplier, Strippin, Captain Sparkles, and JonTron, if I remember right. And they would compete against each other to make this most creative game in just 4 days. Well, what caused it to fail? Well, the Mountain Dew sponsored production crew, headed up by one fucking producer whose goal it was to make sure the show was interesting by creating reality TV type drama. He would pit people against each other, encourage prima donna type behavior on set, he'd drum up controversies where there were none, and he would even ask sexist questions towards the female developers and other YouTubers to try to create a battle of the sexes for his fucking show. Basically doing what Hollywood douchebags do to get that spark of drama that those type of people crave. Polaris and Maker should have wronged this person in much sooner and had set rules and policies for how this thing was supposed to go down. They didn't. It was a failure. He had free reign, and even though he technically wasn't in charge, none of the other crew questioned this guy. I butted heads with him several times. I laughed out loud over his insistence that I drink Mountain Dew and have a bottle in front of me at all times. I must have put 3 or 4, 6 bottles under the table by the end of it. Markiplier looked at him like he was fucking stupid when he tried to incite a battle of the sexes within his team. Both Zoe Quinn and JonTron refused to allow a misunderstanding to get out of control for this public grudge storyline for the damn show. You know, all that shit combined with how clear that it was becoming to the indie devs that in between these stupid reality TV challenges that involved weird shit like traffic cones and time challenges and random chaos, where all of a sudden a development team would be forced to work without power for 30 minutes while trying to make a fucking game made for an impossible environment to actually create the fucking games, which might I add were really, really fucking hilarious and good. And it's a damn shame you'll never get to see them. and it's makers and Polaris' fault to not rein in that guy sooner. They needed to understand that the drama and tension of creating a game in just 4 days with such funny and talented people would be interesting enough on its own without all the other reality bullshit they believed it needed to make it work. A damn fucking shame.
And so this whole thing fell apart, and me and John and Tom, John was like, fuck it, let's go to Disneyland. So we just went to fucking Disneyland, and then we had a ton of fun. And so we went over to John's. He asked permission politely, and we spent the night at his house, like a child.
Had a slumber party.
We had a slumber party at his house, like children drinking beer in his backyard, talking way too loud, probably keeping his parents up all night.
And we were having pretty loud.
Yeah, we were having drinking contests and everything.
Is it gonna be Tom or is it gonna be John? John or Tom? They're both 3 letters.
Oh, it's fucking John.
Yeah, you won that. You won it.
You have to realize they had a shitload of beers way before that point.
I hate doing
This is literally late hour.
Why did I suggest it?
They're probably gonna throw up. Which one is gonna throw up first? You place your bets. Place your bets. Tom or John?
Number 6. Lizard Squad. DDoSing Xbox Live and PSN. Now, most people are familiar with hackers, right? But many people may not know what an actual DDoS attack is. This is the year where they were forced to find out, as Lizard Squad, a self-proclaimed trolling hacking group, managed to take down both Xbox Live and PSN sometime in August. And despite their telegraphed threat that they were going to do it on Christmas, they were still able to do it on Christmas. They made good on their promise to bring down the service even for days after. This frustrated hundreds of thousands of new, happy console gamers that just got it for Christmas. In the process, they were unable to play online with no functionality on their new machines. If it was this easy to take down Xbox and PS4, imagine if MS had gotten their way with the Xbox One always being online, likely being attacked by these guys all the time. Not only would the online be down, but your damn offline games would be offline too. Now do you see why we fought so hard to remove that shitty DRM restriction? There are people that still defend Microsoft on there. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that DOS and DDoS attacks, or denial of service attacks, which flood an IP or a server with useless packets of information coming from a botnet of thousands of infected computers, are almost impossible to stop. And they are getting easier and easier to execute with lower skill levels necessary. Now, there are things to help mitigate that, but companies rarely choose to take those steps necessary because they're extremely expensive to build. Thankfully, white hat hackers, or good guy hackers, have formed to start to combat these types of groups and defend gaming. And God bless these brave gentlemen, you beautiful bastards. But the best defense, that in combination with new training for law enforcement specialists to handle these types of attacks and find the people responsible, which they are starting to find, larger companies taking increased security measures is so important. Whether any of this stuff is going to be effective, that remains to be seen. But 2014, we got hit hard with that shit, and it was annoying. Number 5. Early access. That's a controversy, okay? There are more than 200 games on Steam that are in early access. So much so that the page is fucking broken and it's been displaying 0 lately. On the one hand, early access does allow indie developers to get massive access to a bunch of testers, and it gives them a way to bring in the cash that they need to finish their games. Some games simply wouldn't exist without it, and for those purposes, it's great. Unfortunately, it also means that more often than not, you're paying for a very poor experience, and in many cases, these early access games never really get finished at all. I think in the realm of something less than 25% get finished within the first 2 to 3 years after going early access. Think about that. You know, there is so little incentive for a small developer or team to keep putting in more and more complicated features after they had already gotten all the initial money up front from nearly all that player base. And you know, once that player base leaves, that subsequent time afterwards, the cash flow is evaporating. It's a very dangerous proposition, and it requires a great deal of trust in the developers who you're giving money to. And what makes it an even bigger controversy is when a larger multi-million-dollar company gets into early access, like the recent H1Z1. Why is a company like Sony having players pay them $20 to $30 to test their game for them? Why does it come out so colossally broken at release? They're SOE. You'd think they'd at least put in as much effort as some of the more competent early accesses out there from indie devs, but nope. I wonder how many large companies are going to get into the space of early access as they have with pre-orders. My suggestion right now is to stay away from early access unless you've seen or been told for sure that the experience you are paying for is going to be worth it, or you're a fucking mega fan. And even if you are, you're probably gonna burn yourself out on the game before it gets even good. This early access thing, I just don't want it to get out of control, okay? It has the potential to do so, so we all need to keep our eyes on it and make sure we support the ones that deserve it and ignore the ones that don't deserve it, that abuse the service. That's my opinion.
Number 4.
Shadowy shit of Mordor. Mordor. The promos with that, they held review copies, right? I expected to fully review Shadows of Mordor at release. I had played the game at E3. I found it really fun. I talked with developers. I said, hey man, can I get a review copy? They were excited. And then when the time came, I met silence. Odd, because all the developers were excited for that review and assured me that all the right emails had been exchanged and it was gonna happen. And I didn't understand why it didn't happen until Total Biscuit blew the whistle and tweeted this. Yeah, it turned out that unless you were part of a paid promo, you pretty much weren't getting access to an early review copy unless you were IGN or GameSpot or somebody huge. There was an effort to limit copies to those not a part of that paid deal. That right there is bullshit and a terrible practice, especially when within those contracts they specifically forbid saying anything negative about the game. In fact, it was Jim Sterling who showed some actual excerpts from the contract that he got a hold of.
The wording in the Mordor contract has been dodgy enough that even YouTubers used to brand deals have been raising their eyebrows in concern, especially when it comes to the company vetting their content 2 days before release and ostensibly directing everything they get to talk about rather than let any reactions be natural. I mean, it's bad enough that the company's treating viewers like cattle that should be persuaded to march in lockstep. I mean, ugh, Jesus. But the worst part is how guarded PC copies of the game were without this brand deal, and that's a fucking atrocious precedent to set. When critics can't get copies of the game without agreeing to have their opinions neutered and videos lobotomized, when you can't review a game without being fucking paid by the company making the game first, then that's some grade A fuck shittery.
And all of this was completely unnecessary since the game was actually pretty damn awesome. But it ended up blowing up in Plaid Social's face, the PR company, and it made everyone else involved look like untrustworthy assholes. Now, I don't have any issues with paid promos. I've done a few myself. I enjoy doing it for the games that deserve it, and I want to spread the word. And for me, they will always be Let's Play type of content, never reviews. Things that I believe in and I want to support, that stuff I already love or that I'm interested in, or games that I was planning on doing a Let's Play for anyway. And as per my specific rule, which was not allowed in this controversy, I reserve the right to say whatever I like, including pointing out negatives in the game, limitations, overpriced content, bugs, and even laughing at various glitches. I specifically state that. And these companies fail to realize that they don't need to control the message to that insane degree at all. People can see whether or not the game is fun for them, especially in these video form Let's Play videos. And sometimes bad games even get more sales as people buy them to you know, give their friends a hard time or as a joke. Now, I've heard that the plaid social contracts have completely removed all those you can't say this stipulations and stuff, and I don't know if this practice continues with other companies, but I do know for certain that some companies have and do blacklist reviewers if they step out of line. You know, have some confidence in your game. If you don't, then why the hell should anyone else? Don't fucking hold review copies to only the people that you fucking pay for, and then restrict the message to say nothing negative about the game. That is about as shadowy as shit as you can get straight out of Mordor.
Number 3. What are we playing, a mobile game? This is what I'm interested in, Joe. I want to know how much each of those are.
Maybe chat knows.
Huh. Yeah, you better fucking hide your price or I'm gonna fucking flip!
$100 is the most.
No.
It says $9 to $99. $99 is the max value.
This way! Microtransactions creeping in to our AAA games where they weren't before. No! No! Bad AAA games. Bad. No! This may be fine for shitty fucking mobile games on our cell phones or iPads, but not our goddamn consoles and fucking personal computers. We've seen more and more of this caliber of, you know, experiment in our bigger games with these types of hollow microtransactions. Assassin's Creed Unity, Dragon Age Inquisition, The Crew, Forza Motorsport 5, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. The list can go on. Hell, even AAA franchises on that stuff is starting to milk the mobile space just off their name alone, like reskins like Call of Duty Heroes, which is essentially a Clash of Clans ripoff. This is a hugely ugly trend that could be very dangerous to the integrity of these games and how we play them on our PCs and consoles. Progression can be fucked with for the worse if publishers force the developers to explore ways to make those in-game fees more attractive to actually pay to get past the pointless grinding. Free has changed to get on the Apple Store because even they know that these types of games aren't truly free and they end up making vast amounts of money. Why do you think there are so many goddamn annoying Clash of Clans and fucking Game of War commercials during football? And I have to explain to my friends that these are fucking shitty games and they're not even really games.
So tell me, do you want to come and play? Game of War. Play for free now from the App Store.
Well, you just got fucking Kate Hudson's tits hanging out and they're like, whoa, what fucking game is that, Joe? Is that a good game? No, it's not a good game. It's mobile garbage. Stop bringing mobile garbage into our good gaming. No.
Game of War.
Number 2.
I can do that right in the convoy. I do this thing. Don't worry about the screen door, I'll get it. Go ahead, go down.
Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! There's one in the corner. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back! Put your hands behind your back. Do it now. Don't you fucking move. You hear me, boy? Yep. David, we got one in custody.
Swatting. Jesus. This is some scary ass fucking stuff. This extremely illegal practice carries hefty fines and serious prison time for anyone stupid enough to attempt it. It basically means that a person trolls you by calling your local police department, claiming that you're wielding a gun and you're about to kill somebody in an attempt to get the SWAT team called to your house. This has happened many times to multiple high-profile streamers on Twitch. Thankfully, it's led to multiple arrests. This wastes thousands of dollars in resources and manpower and has the potential to get someone hurt or fucking shot. Which is why the FBI is taking this shit very seriously after the recent spree of those types of attacks in 2014. That's a huge fucking controversy. It's led to popular personalities and streamers having to call their local police departments just to let them know who they are and what type of videos they do and what their job is, to give them a heads up just in case some fucking idiot troll asshole or maybe somebody off their medication thinks it's all right to do something that sinister and fucked up. Well, it's not all right. And the cops and law enforcement, they're not gonna fucking stand for it. So hopefully this is one trend that we don't see come back.
Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move!
Number 1. Gamergate. Yep, you fucking knew it, you called it. How could Gamergate not be the biggest controversy of 2014? It became what was the most divisive, absolutely most divisive event in gaming I've seen in a long fucking time. You just barely mention Gamergate and you got a flood of tweets from both sides. Pro-GGers and anti-GGers engaged in mortal combat over their right to exist. Anti-GGers claim that Gamergate is a harassment movement and anti-feminist, anti-social justice warriors, which they actually kind of are, those last two things for the most part. But they're making concerted efforts to attack women and harass people. And on the other side, Gamergaters are saying, hell no, we don't give a fuck about those women, we don't give a fuck about feminism, we don't give a fuck about social justice warriors. The only thing that we care about is gaming ethics and nothing else. That is fucking bullshit. And over here, that is fucking bullshit. Not every single person within Gamergate is a terrible fucking troll and that requires the entire movement to be eradicated and destroyed. Both sides are wrong. Absolutely wrong. And both sides have truth to it. The thing is that you cannot control a Twitter hashtag movement. It's fucking impossible to control. The types of people within it, there's no membership fees. You're not paying fees to be a part of this. You're not rallying in the streets for the civil rights movement and identifying yourself. A lot of it is anonymous. And sometimes there are subversive elements, the underbelly of the internet, that attach to a movement like this. Hell, some Gamergaters were even knocked off 4chan. 4chan, because they were doxing, putting personal information, doing all this stuff against their rules. And I've asked Gamergaters several times to show me a list of their achievements. Their list of achievements, well, I will include it in the description, but their list of achievements is relatively small. Some few ethics change rules at a few websites that they hated anyway, that they don't frequent. They did do a few charities, there's no doubting that. Suicide prevention, hunger, you know, lots of charities in that sense, and that's all good stuff. And those people deserve to be commended who contributed to those charities if that money actually gets used where it's supposed to be. But Gamergate, the reality is, and I'm just going to give it to you brutal because I'm going to piss off both sides. I've already pissed off both sides. They wanted me to come over, Anti-GG wanted me to come over and destroy, put the final nail in the coffin of Gamergate, which I don't even have the fucking power to do. And GGers wanted me to come out and be like, yeah, pro GG, GG is the best, so that their movement can continue and be, you know, relevant. No, okay? You can be for gaming ethics. I have been for gaming ethics. Total Biscuit has been for gaming ethics before the creation of the Gamergate hashtag, and we will be after. You can be for gaming ethics without self-identifying with a stupid hashtag on Twitter. It's insulting to think that there are people out there who would call you not a real gamer if you don't identify with GG, or that you're not for gaming ethics and you're a shady motherfucker and the only thing you care about is money, and women have warped your mind and influenced you, and that's why you're an anti-GGer. It's all fucking bullshit. I'm neutral. The large majority of us gamers, millions of gamers, are fucking neutral. After all of the drama over these months have calmed down, you see that the GG movement is relatively small but vocal group on Twitter. Not all of them are bad guys. Anti-GG, you've got to stop bullying them. You've got to stop doxing them. You got to stop harassing them, saying that their movement is all garbage. You don't understand that people find identity within these movements. I understand what it's like to create a community. I run the AJSA. A lot of the people within GG found GG at a rough time in their lives. They made new friends. They played video games. They have a common goal. And they're going to defend their right to exist as GG to the death. And GGers, you need to realize that some of these people who are social justice warriors, who just want people to be more civil and point out inconsistencies, and the hardcore radical feminists who like to critique video games in their own way, even if you don't agree with them, they're not shitty people, they're not fake gamers, they're real gamers. We're all fucking gamers here. They have a right to their opinion. Now, Gamergate claims all they care about is gaming journalism and ethics in journalism. But there is no fucking denying where the roots of Gamergate started. Gamergate started with the Quinspiracy, which is a whole separate other thing and turned into FiveGuys, okay? Zoe Quinn, a female developer, her angry, jealous boyfriend fucking put all their dirty laundry on the internet, just completely fucking doxed all of her information and accused her of sleeping and cheating with numerous guys, and she confirmed it as well, sleeping with a few other people. Who gives a fucking shit? That was fucking internet drama. Of course I stayed away from all that fucking bullshit, but of course everybody read it because it's internet drama. So you have those people, and and then opportunists on YouTube. Whoo boy, they got on that shit quick and started posting their fucking videos and conspiracy theories because that shit is fun. Drama's fun to talk about and it gets views quick. And so it turned into, and then they would research, oh, Nathan Grayson possibly has links to Zoe, and Nathan Grayson writes occasionally for Kotaku, and we fucking hate Kotaku, and apparently Nathan Grayson was giving positive coverage to Zoe Quinn's depression quest because she was fucking him in her hetero relationship or whatever, which all is unsubstantiated, would never hold up in a court of law. But and Nathan Grayson never even did a fucking review. It's just like one mention in a little fucking indie article. But that's where the movement was born from. And where it turned into Gamergate is when these publications or these gaming media outlets banded together and decided that the term gamer was dead. And that's where they fucked up. Gamergate wouldn't exist if Kotaku and a bunch of these other outlets didn't band together and declare gamers dead. Now I understand post situation what they were trying to really say. If you read their articles, not just the title of their articles, they were trying to say that the gamer culture has gotten toxic and they focused on anti-women sentiments, anti-feminist ideas, all of these different things, which for the most part, if you spent any amount of time on YouTube comments like I have, or on Xbox Live or PSN when there are females playing, you would know there is a bit of sexism in gaming. And it's not because gamers are sexist, it's because there are shitty people who are gamers and who are going to do shitty things like that anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but these articles were written to blame it all on gamer culture, even though that's not fucking gaming culture, that's shitty people culture. So they done fucked up when they made these multiple articles about gamers are dead, and then this guy, Adam Baldwin, who the fuck is Adam Baldwin? The guy from Firefly, who isn't really a gamer at all, he just linked internet aristocrats videos and put the fucking tag Gamergate, because, you know, right-wingers love to fucking put gate on the end of everything. Obamagate, Whitegate, Bootygate, Christmasgate, Gamergate, because he doesn't understand. It's just something for him to pick on and push his political agenda. And I noticed a bunch of people latch onto the Gamergate movement early who are staunch right-winger conservatives. It was really weird to see, and many of them not even gamers and admit that they're not gamers. I think there was a guy named Milo who made it a point to try to debate people within. It made no fucking sense to me. And this thing just spiraled out of control, and just people, you know, what happened is, you know, people like Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu were getting a lot of fucking harassment. Their personal information was out there. A lot of shitty people were harassing them, period. That shit actually happened. I know there's conspiracy theories that they never once received one bad tweet and she didn't actually leave her house at all, even because there are pictures that show this fucking proof. It's fucking bullshit conspiracy theory crap. Okay, these girls were harassed, and they deal with this type of harassment all the fucking time. And that doesn't mean that the Gamergate movement was created specifically to harass women. It means people within Gamergate at the time were still a part of this whole FiveGuys and public slut shaming, and who did she have sex with, and oh, she's a terrible person because she's having sex with all these different guys, and all this stuff. So all that stuff was still a part of this community that formed Gamergate. And a lot of that stuff got, you know, pushed and kept going. And then I would go through Gamergaters' tweets just to see what else they would tweet. And it's filled with anti-feminist stuff. Like, they fucking hate Anita Sarkeesian. There's really offensive shit in there. Anita Sarkeesian, I'm sorry, and Leigh Alexander. They were hammering those girls and just like totally, you know, being really fucking mean about it. And I noticed this trend with a lot of Gamergaters. Maybe I was looking at the bad ones, and I eventually realized that yes, there are really good people within Gamergate. The problem is it's a fucking hashtag movement. You cannot control people within a hashtag movement. And I'm saying there's blame to go around on both sides. Anti-GG have been harassing GGers, doxing them and doing really fucked up shit. And the same thing with GGers, doxing and doing really fucked up shit against the anti-GGers. And it needs to fucking stop. It needs to fucking stop. If it's about gaming ethics, more needs to be accomplished by the Gamergate movement, and I encourage them to continue to do their charities, to continue to, you know, seek out better gaming journalism. And for you anti-GGers who want the movement to be completely destroyed, stop it. You're mad at the elements within Gamergaters. Maybe it's origins that came from like fucking creeping on some girls' personal information and life and fucked up personal problems. People have problems all the fucking time. It's not our fucking business. Oh, what she did fucked up? Yeah, it's fucked up, but it's not your fucking business. What does that have to do with gaming? It doesn't. Very little has to do with gaming at all, or gaming ethics at all. Yeah, you could say, oh, claim conflict of interest. That's great. That's the stuff that you want to go after. Go after it. But a lot of the things that came with Gamergaters is a lot of this other bullshit. And I've seen a lot of it on the internet. You know, the 8chan threads about me, about like this and that. It's just, it gets fucking crazy out there, guys. You Gamergaters need to watch out. And so watch out for the elements that are within your own thing, and you need to police your own thing. I know it's very difficult. It's almost impossible to. I don't envy your job, but honestly, I'm tired of hearing about Gamergate. I'm tired of it because you could be for gaming ethics without the hashtag. And the same people who are in Gamergate right now are probably the same people who would have tweeted anyway about, hey, that's some fucked up shit. Let's all talk about that. But they didn't just put the hashtag GG. You could still do that. But if you want to identify with GG, that's great. You know, it's your prerogative. That's what you want to do. But I'd say at this point, the Gamergate stuff, as far as how it has been portrayed in the media, either fairly or unfairly, in your opinion, it's just too far gone at this point for neutrals to actually care or want to join Gamergate. The movement is shrinking, and anti-GGers want to see it completely destroyed. You guys need to stop it. It's the trolls and shitty people within Gamergate who would have been shitty people without Gamergate. Those same people that you claim are within Gamergate and are constantly harassing women and attacking people and doing death threats and stuff, those types of people would have continued to do that without the hashtag Gamergate. It's true. That's just the nature of the internet. It's a fucking disgusting place in certain areas of it, okay? That's why certain threads are deleted automatically after a few hours. It's the anonymity of the internet. That's just the way it is. And there's just so much more to go over about this Gamergate thing, but that's all I have to say on it. And people can be as mad as they want that I didn't support the movement or that I didn't support the destruction of the movement, okay? Do whatever you want, okay? Give me your own opinion in the comments about any one of these controversies, Gamergate included. Go crazy, all right? Accuse me of a bajillion different things, all right? If it makes you feel better. All right, so that's it for, holy shit, that's it for 2014. All of the different top list videos there. Oh man, I'm so glad we got through all that. And I must have recorded that at least 5 times, so I left out all the interesting bits and all the citations and this occurrence and that occurrence. Gonna piss off more people. But you know what? Honest, brutal truth, just us talking about something, all right? So, more reviews are coming. I think I've got a few videos coming out before that. February is going to be super busy. So I will see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.